Welcome to episode 14 of the Old White Man Show. I call it the Old White Man Show because I'm old, I'm white, and I'm a man. So let's go ahead and talk about LSU first. Yesterday, the Tigers played the Tigers, and the Tigers won. LSU didn't. They should have won, but they didn't. When you got a first down on the 1 yard line, you can't push it in four tries. Something's wrong. They need to work on it. So congratulations to the Missouri Tigers. LSU, I'm gonna take part of the blame because I didn't have my T-shirt on yesterday. I do have my shirt on today and my socks. So next week I'll make sure I'll wear them. But LSU, they are now 1 win and 2 losses. Uh, and I'm gonna have to give congratulations to Texas Aggies. They gave up the sheep and won a football game. So what can I say? That being said, uh, I want to talk about what's going on. The purpose of this program is to say a little bit about myself and a little bit about what's going on in the world and give my opinion. We all have opinions. I'm entitled to mine, you're entitled to yours. Since I do this show live with no rehearsals and no editing or nothing, sometimes I say stuff that maybe I shouldn't say. Sometimes I don't say stuff I should say. So I want everybody to take that into recognition when you're listening to what I'm trying to say. You know, today, one of the problems we got in our country is that there is a lot of division. A lot of division with people not knowing which way to go. See, the problem is that they think that we only have two parties, a Republican Party and a Democratic Party, but that's not true. There's multiple platforms out there. It's just two parties that controls everything that we want to say. Born in the South, I was a conservative Democrat growing up. I still consider myself a conservative Democrat. The problem is conservative Democrats now became Republicans. They seem to be voting the Republican way, and that's what I do. I vote what I think is the best way. We have a president that was also one time a Democrat. A lot of people like him, a lot of people don't like him. I know that I didn't vote for him because I liked him. In fact, I never did like him. I thought he was arrogant. I thought he was a little bit of a show off. I didn't like his TV shows. Uh, he's born with the silver spoon in his mouth, like so many other people we got in this country. I didn't like his morality. I didn't like the fact that, he could marry 3 times and still consider himself to be high and holy. I think marriage is a one-time thing. I mean, I got 3 brothers and 13 sister-in-laws. So I'm kind of the odd man out in my family. People do, they get married, they get divorced, and that's their way. I don't have to approve it or not approve it. It doesn't make any difference what I think, you know. But I did vote for the man because I wanted to get rid of politicians. The lady who he was running against back in 2016, Hillary Clinton, I knew she was an evil person. I still know she's an evil person, in my opinion. She's only for herself and the elite people like her. Now we got Hillary's not running and Biden's running in her place. But Biden's been a politician for 47 years and he hasn't accomplished nothing yet except one bill, a crime bill that put black people in jail. I've seen him over the years many, many times on TV. I remember back in the 90s when he was threatening to withhold funding from Israel if they didn't do what he wanted done. I mean, I heard that with my own ears. I heard him brag about how he did it with the Ukraine. He seems to be a little man with a lot of power issues, and that he tries to make people do what he wants done, or else I won't fund you, or I challenge you to a push-up contest, or I don't work for you, like he told that one guy at one of his campaigns. Yeah, if you can become president, you do work for the American people. That's who you work for. You know, we're not going to hire you for your power. If you get elected, you're being elected to work for the American people and American values. You profess to be a Christian, but yet you also support the taking of innocent unborn lives. I can't agree with that. Many things that Mr. Biden, you know, wants to do is wrong. We have a president now who's not exactly, the most moral of people in the world, but I do know this: he works. He works hard. He's been working to improve the American life. Did the rich get richer under President Trump? Yes, they did. But most of them is Democrats. You see, the majority of the people who's gained, the billionaires who's gained this $300 billion, they're Democrats, not Republicans. The people who owns Google, they're Democrats. The people who owns Facebook, they're Democrats. The people who owns Amazon, they're Democrats. Think about it. Think about who they are. And they're saying that it's the Republican Party that's doing this. Or maybe it is some of the policies of the Republican Party. Or maybe it's the policy of the Democrats, where they're doing everything in their power to strike down a sitting president the last 4 years. And in doing that, they even somehow got a virus over here that's killing a couple 100,000 people and affecting millions more. Do I think the Democrats could have done that? Yeah, I do. I believe that they're guilty of that. And they're also guilty of not giving the man credit from trying to do the best thing to fight this virus. When President Obama and his Vice President Biden was in office, we had the swine flu, the H1N1 flu. You didn't hear too much about it. 60, 70 million people caught it. Luckily, it wasn't as bad as far as the death tolls goes. It wasn't as serious as this new flu. If they would have, we probably could have lost a fourth of our country, a fifth of our country. Who knows? What could have happened? See, when they was president, they didn't do anything except do stuff for the elitists. They worked on the Kennedy Arts Center. They worked on different things that associated with the elitist programs. They didn't do nothing to help common people. They didn't do nothing to help black people. They didn't do nothing to help Hispanic people. They had the House and the Senate and the President, and they didn't do nothing on immigration. Think about that. They had control of everything, and they didn't get nothing done. Why didn't they get it done? Because they really don't want it done. If they can control the minorities by their programs, whether it's a welfare program or a program, if you vote for me, I will give you food, or whatever programs they got, they're going to use it. The Democrats has a tendency of doing that over the years, and we have seen it. It's a shame. It's a shame that we got a president in office now, but without the great morals that we want. But then George Washington didn't have that kind of morals either. And I think Andrew Jackson was very questionable on his morals. They're trying to take down his statue because apparently he owned some slaves. And if he was a slave owner, he should never become president. You hear that, Vice President, President wannabe, Kamala Harris? Your grandfather owned Irish slaves. Whether they're white or black, it makes no difference. A slave is a slave, and it's not right. So maybe you should disqualify yourself from running for vice president because of your slave holding ancestors. Maybe not. Maybe it's good to own slaves. I don't know. Maybe you got dreams of turning the American people into your slaves. I have no idea. It sounds like some of your programs that you're representing, you would like them to become your slaves. I seen a smirk on your face during the vice presidential debate, and I'm saying, God, that woman's really, really bad. My gut feeling, you're a terrible person. The people who agrees with me, maybe the old mayor of San Francisco, he said you just blew him away. You was a gold digger, a person stepping up. Anyway, we got to look at what's going on today and try to realize that we're all Americans. When this presidential race is over, there's going to be a lot more bickering regardless of who wins. In my lifetime, I've never seen a bad transition of power, except when the Clintons left office. They stole half the stuff that was in the White House, but then that's what the Clintons do, they steal. When President Trump leaves the White House, he would leave with dignity. He's got probably the best, honest, purest first lady that I've seen in my lifetime. And I'm quite sure that she will make sure that he's a good person and leaves the White House in the proper way. I think he will. I don't think he plans on doing anything that's unconstitutional. He will be getting his Supreme Court person nominated, voted in this month, and we will have another, conservative on the Supreme Court. It's a terrible thing. Next year is going to bring a lot of economic ruin. All these people that's in debt now, they're going to have to pay their bills. And I know our president went bankrupt in the past, but then so did my brother. He did a couple of bankruptcies, That's the way it goes. I know a lot of people that had bankruptcies. They teach it in Harvard Business School to go bankrupt. That's a course. You can learn how to go bankrupt and rip off the people. That's what the elite people does. So, if bankruptcies is wrong, then everyone who went bankrupt should be held responsible. I think that if you owe $1, you should pay the dollar. You should never be allowed to walk away from your debts. You should never be allowed to walk away from your beliefs, your obligations. You should be person enough, man enough, woman enough to stand behind everything you say. And that being said, I'm going to go. I'm going to say next week LSU's playing the Florida State, and hopefully, or the Florida Gators, the same team that Texas A&M beat this week. We get to play them next week, and hopefully we beat them. I know we got the talent. We just got to put it all together. With that being said, see you next week. Have a good week. Bye-bye.